Awesome. Okay. So my first question is that could you just tell me some about your experiences with Y Learning, such as like how long you've been with the program, what roles you've played, and what role do you currently play in the program?
Okay, so I started Y Learning in 2017 when I actually was at Hahn Elementary as just a regular YMCA counselor. And when I transferred to Lacy Elementary, I got the opportunity to get into Y Learning, and I was just like a counselor, and my friend was the head counselor. So I learned a lot from like her and stuff, and it was just pretty much helping the kids out. Basically, Y Learning provides like a structured tutorial program for students who don't meet the requirements that they should be at in school. So it was really just a good atmosphere. The kids are very humble and appreciative.
Yeah.
And the role that I currently play right now, I am the head counselor. And it's been pretty good. It's a work in progress. I help my other co-counselors, like try to allow them to grow in different areas. Just in case I'm not there and someone needs to step up. So I never try to come there and act like I'm the captain. I always give everyone an opportunity and chance to grow because I want them to be able to step in my shoes if it was to say I don't work there no more, if they want to go somewhere else, if they had the opportunity to be a head counselor in another Y Learning program.
Mhm. Yeah, that's great. So when and if you explain Y Learning to other people who are not familiar with the program, what do you tell them about the program?
It's basically exactly what I just said, that basically Y Learning is a structured tutorial program. So it's for students that are not within the school system, but like grade level, and that YMCA works with the school teachers and guidance counselors to figure out who those students are. And also these teachers, even on the side work of YMCA and like Y Learning, they help them more. This is it, like Y Learning is enough. Mm-hmm. And that could be possible. The teachers may take that extra step and make sure they're helping the students.
Yeah. So, what are the goals of the program as you understand them?
Basically, helping the students gain more knowledge and get to the point where they need to be at.
Mhm. Yeah.
School-wise.
Yeah.
Helping them out with their schoolwork and making sure they're understanding and stuff like that.
Yeah. Awesome. So what are the biggest benefits or successes of the programs? And can you give any examples of the impact of this program?
Can you explain that, like my biggest successes while learning?
Maybe the biggest benefits to the students in it. So students who you have seen really like succeed and go above and beyond because of the extra time and effort that Y Learning gave to them.
So basically the biggest success I see in the students that I work with.
Yes.
Basically just growing in certain areas like math. A lot of my students have grown a lot in math, and I love the structure that the teachers teach them in math is very awesome because I've literally been there since last year. So the students I was a third grade counselor last year, so I moved with them. So now I'm a fourth grade counselor this year, and a lot of them have grown tremendously in math. And I really think it's the techniques that the teachers teach them.
Mhm.
And then coming to Y Learning and having the extra help.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the biggest successes I've seen in Y Learning.
Mhm. What are some of the specific, I guess, math enrichment activities that you saw Y Learning do with your group of students?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, no, you're good. What are some of the enrichment activities that you saw Y Learning do with those students that you worked with?
Enrichment activities you explain that a little bit more?
Enrichment activity, did they do extra worksheets? Did they get extra lessons? Just yeah, that kind of thing.
Yes. So if our agenda is technically when we come to Y Learning, they come to just not of course, teacher time, and then when we come back, we provide worksheets and journals. Every child has their personal journal. So if you don't have homework, you can write a journal. We have prompts like the prompt would say, "What's the biggest achievement you made in your lifetime right now?" And they'll make like a whole page of that. Or just imaginary stuff like, if you could fly, where would you go? And just stuff like that, and worksheets. And also we have books. We have like a book area where they can pick any type of book that they can read on the spot.
That's awesome. So, what are some of the challenges to success or the improvement needs for this program?
Challenges? I would say being as though while learning is basically about work, it kind of gets tiring for the students, so they lose like concentration because, no one wants to sit 8 hours in school and do a lot of work. They have to come somewhere else and do a lot of work. So that would be the only challenge, is just trying to keep them under control and make sure they're getting their work done, because I know how tired it can be of like just doing work all day.
That makes sense.
But yeah, that would be the only challenge.
So, are there any improvement needs that you think would be a good idea, like in relation to being able to work with those students and help motivate them?
Improvement? Not really. Nothing to really do with why learning. More like the directions of their homework. So not only them, but counselors can understand too.
That makes sense.
I feel like that sometimes their directions for their work can frustrate them because they're very broad. So
yeah. Can you expand on kind of what you just said about their work frustrates them? Like, how do you guys help them work through that when they're frustrated?
Most of the time when we find students frustrated, we let them take a second. So, they don't get bombarded with work, cry or anything. They don't cry. And we also ask them, like, what did you do in class today? And a lot of students don't know that they explain, like, the work that they're showing us, what they did. So it just goes back to, like, remembering. So a lot of times when my students don't know the work they're doing, and then I ask them what they did in class, and they tell me, and I tell them, like, that's exactly what you just told me. That's your work right there.
Yeah. That's awesome. So where do you hope to see the program in the near future? Let's say, like, 5 years from now.
Like, as in success-wise?
Yes.
That's a good question. I expect my learners to grow more because YMCA is a very good job, and it's not there to belittle anyone. It always wants to help each counselor grow. So I'm sure there will be like great counselors to help students. So I think it will be in a very good place. It's not in a bad place right now. It's an awesome job. I love kids and I love the YMCA. It's so friendly. So I just expect it to get nothing but great. Like, it's just going to go up from here. So, to make sure I got the correct idea of what you were saying, that you see Y Learning growing and improving from it already being very good at the moment. Are there, yeah. Do you have any details about areas where that growth would be shown? Like, where would you see that growth? Definitely counselors' relationships, and like everyone, counselors all talking, not just, one counselor talking, and just relationship between the kids, make sure they're not getting like too close, or, just keep that wall up. Because the kids think that you're their friend, but, you're really not, because you're there so they do their work, they're safe and stuff like that. That's how it's supposed to be.
So what do you think it will take to reach this 5-year vision? What are some steps that Y Learning could take?
I would just say certain areas. Maybe certain areas counselors should have like a daily task every day to get more comfortable with the kids, so they'll be able to do everything. And just making sure you're never too friendly because once you're too friendly to a student, then they take that and run with it.
That makes sense. So, a couple more specific questions now to your Y Learning site.
Okay.
if you can just tell me about your Y Learning site, how many children are enrolled in your program, what is kind of the grade level breakdown, then I'll come in with the rest of the questions. We'll start with that. So how many children do you serve and what is the grade level breakdown?
Okay, so the children varies because it's some not really coming in, some more information coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say right now 25, and we have first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, and sixth grade.
Do you have about an even number of first through fifth graders?
Maybe 25 to 26.
Okay. Is your program evenly distributed? So are there the same amount of first graders as like second graders, third graders, etc.?
I would say first or second grade may be our largest group. It may be like 5 fifth graders.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 third graders and maybe 7 fourth graders.
Okay.
And I'm just big to that also to my head count yesterday.
Yeah. So a couple more questions about your Y Learning site. How does your site identify in terms of race and gender, and what are the main academic needs and needs in other areas that you try to support at your site?
So can you repeat that one more time?
Mm-hmm. I'll separate it into 2 questions too. So how does your site identify in terms of race and gender?
In gender, like, are we discriminate? Do we discriminate?
Oh no, like, is your site mostly like boys? Is it mostly girls? Like, what is kind of the racial breakdown of it?
It's mixed.
It's mixed.
Boys, females, and yes, females and males.
Mm-hmm. So, and then what are the academic needs and needs in other areas that you try to support at your site?
Now, can you give me an example?
For instance, do a lot of your students struggle with math? Is that a big need that you see? Or do you see another really big need in fluency in reading? Or maybe they really need to be instilled with confidence in their knowledge and their ability to do work?
Okay. With my learning, I believe it's math and maybe confident when it comes to like reading out loud, because you know a lot of teachers make everyone contribute and read a story. So I would say that we need to just work on the confidence and math.
Mm-hmm.
Reading, but reading to themselves, anyone's comfortable doing that because you're not talking in front of people. You know, a lot of people tend to be terrified talking in front of people.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Awesome. And can you tell me about the activities and schedule that you use in your site?
Yes. So like our agendas that we run by every day.
Yeah.
So once we get there, me and my co-counselors right on the board will be expect the kids to do it all the time. Welcome back. Happy today. We had a great day yesterday. Let's have an awesome day today. Grab one snack and take your seat. And they have a sign seat so they know where they sit. And our snack is always on the just beside the board. And sometimes we'll do a little riddle so they could just get comfortable, have like something funny to read. And it's just who doesn't love mind games. So after they eat their snack, everyone goes to teacher time, and this is where they get their extra help from. So they go there and they do work, maybe math or reading. Mm-hmm. And after teacher time, we'll come to the trailer and do our homework. And if we don't have homework, we'll grab a journal or a worksheet and we give a sign. Mm-hmm. And after that, if the students finish on time, like their homework on time, we do practice play outside until it's time to go.
Yeah. Awesome. So, I know you said you have teacher time. So, let me figure out a way to rephrase that question. So, is there a teacher on campus who works like closely with Y Learning?
You said, is there someone on campus, like at the school?
Yeah, like a teacher on campus.
Most of the teachers, every grade level teacher keeps in contact with my boss, my manager, my supervisor. Yeah.
Do you know what
they're
kind
all
of...
pretty much in contact.
Okay. Do you know what kind of role this teacher plays, and do you ever collaborate with him or her?
Sometimes, and some of the teachers are the homeroom teachers, and I know third grade is actually the counselor of the school.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of their teachers will tell my supervisor things that's going on, and my supervisor will relay the message to me. Or even if they see me in the hallway, they'll tell me something about the students.
Mm-hmm. So, can you tell me about the kind of support you receive from the YMCA organization or those who have leadership roles in Y Learning?
The support, like, can you describe that a little bit more?
Support maybe in supplies, in worksheets, and training to be able to work with the students.
I'm sorry, it's breaking up a little bit.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
That's fine. Yes.
So support from the YMCA, such as supplies, enrichment worksheets, training, or maybe tips to help better teach students in Y Learning.
The YMCA provides snacks for the children, and also the worksheets, the extra worksheets, and the journals, and anything that we need, we'll tell them, and they're more than willing to provide it for us.
Mm-hmm. So, how do you communicate with the YMCA organization?
Like when I need supplies?
Yes.
Or just in general?
Both actually would be great if you need supplies and in general.
More than all the time, I always go to my supervisor, and she goes to people that's higher up.
Uh-huh.
Like, I always go to my supervisor if I need anything, or YMCA, while I need anything.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So, when I visited yesterday and last time, I saw that Teacher Time was a really big proponent of Y Learning. So, can you tell me more about Teacher Time and what is that like, and have you seen good success in that? Do you like it?
Teacher Time is very, I really like it because the students are, even though they've been at school all day, they're always excited to see their teachers because they always make it interesting to come. And that's just like what the counselor's trying to sit back, but make sure we're not stepping on the teacher's toes, but at the same time making sure the students are doing what they're supposed to be doing and not disrespecting the teacher at all. So it's like it's the teacher's time, literally, but you step in when you have to, when you need to, like if they need help or something.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Do you have any examples of Teacher Time having a very big impact on one of the students that you work with in Y Learning?
One of my students actually became very comfortable publicly reading because, like I said before, their confidence is sometimes not very when it comes to public reading. And after their teachers start, volunteering them to read more, and after they got comfortable with that, they would just volunteer themselves.
Awesome. Okay, so last question. Are you using the HELPS program at your site, or is that a thing that you've heard about that you're doing in the future?
HELPS program?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Oh, well, if you don't know what it is, that answers the question. There's a possible program called HELPS that is being implemented to help with fluency in some of the sites, and we're just asking to see if it's done at your site or not. But that's totally okay if you have not heard of it.
Okay.
Yep. Well, that was everything. Do you have any questions for me or any last comments that you would like to share about your experience with Y Learning?
No, Y Learning is very great. Like, I would advise anyone, even any college student, really, to do it because even if you love kids, it's very awesome job. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot of opportunity for growth and building your job up in, like, the YMCA. It's a good job for that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for spending some time talking to me about Y Learning. It was great to come and observe your site as well and to see you really have those relationships with students.